Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into the high-stakes, multi-trillion-dollar world of cybersecurity. We hear about data breaches in the news literally all the time, but today we're going beyond the headlines. We're going to look at the actual architecture of these threats and, more importantly, how organizations can strategically fight back. We're going to break down the highly specialized fields of incident response and malware analysis, and we'll draw on some deep industry data to show you exactly why securing your digital realm is no longer just an IT issue. It's a fundamental business imperative. Okay, here's our roadmap for This Explainer. First, we'll cover the trillion-dollar cyber threat. Second, decoding malware analysis. Third, mastering incident response. Fourth, the ROI of preparedness. And finally, partnering with Lumiverse solutions. Let's jump right in. Section 1, the trillion-dollar cyber threat. Now, this number is absolutely staggering. According to a 2023 Cybersecurity Ventures report, the global cost of cybercrime is expected to hit $10.5 trillion annually by 2025. I mean, just think about that for a second. If cybercrime were a country, it would have one of the highest gross domestic products in the entire world. This isn't just a handful of hackers in basements anymore. This is a highly organized, massively funded global industry. And because the financial stakes are at this unprecedented trillion-dollar level, organizations need ultra-strong defenses literally just to survive. So you might be wondering, exactly how are these attackers getting in? Well, a really eye-opening finding from the 2022 Verizon Data Breach Investigations report reveals that a devastating 70% of breaches are caused directly by malware. It's not always those elaborate, cinematic hacking sequences you see in movies. More often than not, it's just malicious software, malware, that's specifically designed to infiltrate, damage, or disable systems. It is, without a doubt, the absolute weapon of choice for the modern cybercriminal. And to make it even more relatable, and honestly a bit frightening, a 2023 Semantic report highlights that a massive 92% of this malware is delivered right to your employees' inboxes via email. We're talking about phishing links, infected attachments, and clever disguised communications. The front line of this trillion-dollar war isn't some highly guarded server room, It's the everyday inbox of your accounting department, your HR team, and your executives.
All right, moving along to Section 2, decoding malware analysis.
To build an ultra-strong defense, security teams can't just delete a suspicious file and cross their fingers hoping for the best. They have to meticulously unpack the malware to understand the attacker's tactics, techniques, and procedures, what the industry calls TTPs. By engaging in this really detailed process of detecting, understanding, and neutralizing the software, analysts uncover exactly how the malware behaves, where it came from, and what parts of the system it was trying to compromise. This kind of intelligence is absolutely crucial for preventing that exact same threat from striking again. So there are basically two necessary complementary approaches to unpacking these threats. On one hand, we have static analysis. This is where you examine the code without actually executing it. Think of it kind of like dusting for fingerprints at a crime scene. You're looking for malicious patterns and clues hidden within the dormant code itself. On the other hand, we have dynamic analysis. This is where you actually run the malware, but you do it in a safe, isolated, controlled environment. It's like putting a suspect in an interrogation room and just watching how they behave. Both of these are totally critical tools for any cyber defender. And here is the real kicker, highlighted by research from the SANS Institute. Organizations that combined both of these methods, static and dynamic analysis together, are 2.5 times, or 75%, more likely to detect sophisticated malware threats compared to those relying on just a single method. In the world of cyber defense, comprehensive visibility is literally everything. You need to read the code and you need to watch it run. That leaves the attackers with absolutely nowhere to hide. Okay, let's shift gears to Section 3, mastering incident response. When an attack actually happens, panic is your absolute worst enemy. A formal incident response strategy turns all that chaos into order by moving through 4 really rigorous steps. Step 1 is proactive planning, basically having the playbook written long before the game even starts. Step 2 requires dedicated response teams who are ready to execute that exact playbook. Step 3 is about swift containment and resolution, stopping the bleeding and isolating those affected systems fast. And finally, Step 4 involves post-incident activities, which means you learn from the attack to update and strengthen your future defenses. This whole process ensures everyone knows their exact role when seconds truly count. I really can't overstate the importance of Step 2 here. Gartner research actually shows that having a dedicated cross-functional team handling threat intelligence, forensics, and communication makes you 35% more likely to resolve incidents quickly and effectively, because you need diverse skills in the room. Yes, you need the technical experts isolated in a server, but you also really need communicators managing the internal and external stakeholders to prevent mass confusion and protect the brand's reputation during the crisis. So, after containment is achieved, the focus shifts to these critical removal and forensic tasks. First, you have to thoroughly clean the infected systems and restore normal operations to keep downtime to a minimum. But it goes way deeper than that. You have to ensure the malware is completely eradicated so it doesn't just reactivate later. Conducting deep malware forensics is also super essential to expose the attacker's methods. And you've got to carefully gather digital evidence just in case there's potential legal or regulation action down the line. It is a very comprehensive cleanup. Let's talk numbers in Section 4, the ROI of preparedness. The undeniable return on investment here is crystal clear in the data. According to a 2023 Ponemon Institute study, organizations that have a formal incident response plan in place save an average of $2.66 million per data breach compared to those operating without one. Let that sink in. Furthermore, a 2022 IBM report found that simply containing a breach in less than 200 days saves an average of $1.12 million, proving, without a shadow of a doubt, that proactive cybersecurity and the ability to act swiftly is a massive cost-saving measure that heavily protects the company's financial health. But it's not just about immediate millions of dollars in savings. The data shows massive long-term operational benefits too. Organizations that conduct thorough post-incident reviews experience 60% fewer repeat incidents. And Gartner research indicates that organizations with mature malware analysis capabilities experience 40% fewer successful attacks overall. By learning from past incidents and implementing really rigorous analysis, you dramatically lower your future attack frequencies, which basically compounds your return on investment year over year. When the average cost of a single malware incident is this catastrophic, we're talking $2.6 million here. Relying on hope instead of a dedicated incident response strategy is just an unacceptable financial risk. The cost of a breach far, far outweighs the investment required to build an ultra-strong defense. So the real question isn't whether you can afford to invest in cybersecurity, it's whether you can afford an unmitigated $2.6 million hit to your bottom line. Finally, let's look at Section 5. Partnering with Lumiverse solutions. Look, very few organizations actually have the resources to build these elite cyber guardian teams entirely in-house, which is exactly where strategic partnerships come in. By partnering with a top incident response firm like Lumiverse Solutions, businesses immediately unlock 4 critical benefits. First, reduced financial losses. In fact, businesses with formal plans see 55% lower costs after a data breach. Second, proactive protection of your brand's reputation and credibility. Third, enhanced operational continuity, ensuring that even during an active threat, downtime is absolutely minimized. And fourth, continuous improvement. You're utilizing their expertise to constantly harden your systems against future, more evolved threats. And how do they actually achieve these results? Through really rigorous systematic execution. Lumiverse Solutions utilizes a comprehensive incident response checklist that literally leaves nothing to chance. From the exact moment of initial incident identification, right through rapid containment, total eradication, and full operational recovery, their structured approach ensures thorough management of any security breach. Having this predefined systematic process is exactly what slashes those response times and mitigates the damage. Thank you so much for joining this explainer today. We've seen the trillion-dollar threat landscape, the science of malware analysis, and the undeniable financial ROI of a structured response. I want to leave you with this critical question to take back to your IT and leadership teams right now. Are your digital defenses truly prepared to handle a $2.6 million attack today, or are you just hoping you won't be the next victim? Remember, hope is not a strategy. It's time to get proactive.